and sisters of my heart. My name is Publio. I'm going to play and sing a couple of songs to help me, to help you, to help us to harmonize ourselves, to prepare for the Spiritism talk tonight. So the first song called Vibration, and goes like this. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. A world where we will be as free as any bird flying in the sky, where peace prevails. That's what I dream for you and me. Moved by the light of love, no longer dimmed by who we were. We'll rise into what we are meant to be, among flowers shining with the glow of supernovas, tokens of that endless love God feels for us. That's what I dream. I dream a new day is going to dawn, the rising of a different world, where eyes will seek out chances to do good. A world of peace and brotherhood awaits the change that we can make. And changing our hearts is the first that we must take. A world where we will be as free as any bird flying in the sky, where peace prevails. That's what I dream for you and me. Moved by the light of love, we'll rise into what we are meant to be. Among flowers shining with the glow of supernovas, tokens of that endless love God feels for us. That's what I dream. I dream a new day is going to dawn, the rising of a different world, where eyes will seek out chances to do good. A world of peace and brotherhood awaits the change that we can make. And changing our hearts is the first step we must take.
Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming our power, cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming our power, cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Now I'm gonna sing a song that really calmed me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. And now I'm gonna sing a song, Good Old Man. It's about our protector, our mentor, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, brave bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, brave bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the good, receive our praise and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the good, receive our praise and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Spirit Talk. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. And as usual, before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual care with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with your water to be magnetized. So our meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook, and also every Saturday at 5 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube as well. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The last class finished on the June 21st. Everyone is welcome to join us and learn more about Spiritism in the next class, which will begin in the fall. So stay tuned for more information that we are gonna share here. Okay. So We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? So the gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing in maintaining the Gospel at Home study meetings by posting in the chat. You can request it. However, if you wish to join us and participate in the online Gospel at Home held every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., simply access the Zoom room link that will be posted in the chat. So everyone is welcome. It's going to be in English, right? So if you want to participate, you can just click the link that we just shared here, okay? So you are welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibrations for incarnate to discarnate. The name of the person you indicate will be assisted by the good spirits to provide healing energy and strengthen goodwill. So please find the link in our chat. The topic of today's meeting will be the individual in the world. Items 9 to 11 from the chapter 17, Be Perfect, of the Gospel according to Spiritism. And will be facilitated by our beloved sister Anna from Alabama. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and they will be addressed at the end of the talk. Now, we would like to invite our tonight's speaker, who will also do our opening prayer. Welcome, my friend, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. Always happy to be here.
Yeah, it's always happy to be together, right? Like,
Yes,
although like it's
yes,
online, but we feel like very close.
for
Okay,
sure, for sure.
I'll see you later, okay?
Okay, all right. All right, everyone. Good evening and welcome. We are so happy you are here with us. And like Marceli said, let's go start with our opening prayer. So let's close our eyes, join our hearts, thinking of our Master Jesus, of his sweet, loving, graceful, and enlightened presence, our Prince of Peace, our good shepherd, that one that God entrusted to guide us throughout this incarnations, throughout our whole evolution, that wonderful, steady, loving, caring, careful shepherd that might have 100,000 of little sheep, but if one goes away, if one goes astray, he can come in their rescue, meaning that his love for each and every one of us is special, is individual, and is pure. May we be able to count on that as we go through all the challenges of this life. And today, as we talk about the men and the women as the person in the world, may we have the necessary balance that studying the gospel of Jesus requires from us, that we may be courageous enough to practice the love that the gospel of Jesus Christ invites us to practice, that we may be happy and content with our situations, with our lives, with the lives and of the people around us, with everything that makes our life our own life, with all the textures and all the colors and the different gradients and ups and downs that makes it beautiful, interesting, helpful, and blessed. May we have the happiness of by listening to, studying, and really incorporating into our souls the good news that is the gospel of Christ. May we rejoice because there's no way to hear good news and not rejoice. So may God bless us, stay with us. May our Master Jesus expand our intelligence at this moment. May He help us by expanding the love and the good that is already in each fiber of our beings so that we can take the best out of this time together and we may practice in our daily lives the things that we already know and we accept as truth so that we can be happier and live more intensely, right? He said he came so that we could have life, but life in abundance, not that superficial life that sometimes the material world is calling us. Jesus called us as a good master to do a little bit better, to be a little bit better, to help a little bit more, to stay stronger, to hope, even though sometimes it's hard to believe there is a way, to share, even when maybe we are lacking some things. But with His presence and with His love, with His message, liberating message of the gospel, we can overcome all the difficulties and together too. So thank you, Lord, for each and every one of us. Stay with us together today and always. And so be it. All right, friends. So let's talk about the topic of today. So, like Marceli said, today we are finishing chapter 17 from the Gospel according to Spiritism. So, I have my book here. We always put also the link to the book so that you can get the PDF. And we really encourage you to really read the chapter by yourself, for yourself, right? So you can also reflect and you can think, you can meditate a little bit more closely of every single word that is part of that chapter. So let's continue. So, like this chapter, Be Perfect, has a lot of different sections. So, we talk about the characteristics of perfection. We talked about moral persons and what it's actually to be a good spiritist, right? We also talked about the parable of the sower. And with the last part of every chapter, Kardec separates for when he compiled this book, he separates messages from spirits. And the first ones we talked about was duty and virtue. And today we're going to talk about superiors and subordinates, the individual in the world and caring for the body and the spirit. So it started with item 9, that is about superiors and subordinates. So this is a little bit similar to the previous chapter when we were talking about, wealth and what are possessions, right? What are things that are really ours? So talking about being a superior or a subordinate, talking about having wealth or authority, it's a little bit similar. So I think it really helps that one chapter is after the other so that we can reinforce that information. And in these 3 messages in this chapter, I think the spirits and, the Spiritism is really telling us about two extremes, right? And sometimes we really like to see things like either black or white, it's like day or light. But sometimes we are either right the superior or we are the subordinate, right? Sometimes we are in the middle. We have some people that we supervise, and then we have some people, but we still have a lot of people that we have to respond to. But in those extremes, how should we behave, right? Is there a better position to be than the other? Are these different? Why sometimes we are superior and sometimes we are the subordinates? How behaving one way or the other, how it's what it is to be a good superior, what is to be a good subordinate, how should we as Christians and as Spiritists actually behave in those two um, sides of the same coin, right? That is our life. So superiors and subordinates. So in this message, this first message, it's from Francois Nicolas Madeleine and Cardinal Morlot, and was given to Kardec in Paris, 1863. So when we talk about authority and wealth, we are talking about a trust that God gives to us. So with any trust or something of value that is given to somebody, there will be some accounting, right? Somebody gives you something that is valuable for you to take care of it. Then later they're going to say, what did you do with it, right? What you use it for? Did you take care of it, right? So it is given in this message is very clear as a mission or a trial, both authority and wealth. It's not given to us as a vain pleasure of command. So if we have authority or if we have wealth, it doesn't mean that we should use that for our own pleasure just because, just to boss other people around. It's not a right, right? So it's not a property either. And it's not a privilege. So those are some of the words that these spirits use to actually talk to us about this message of superiors and subordinates. And they remind us that God gives it all and it takes it, right? So we have it today, we might not have it tomorrow, right? And again, that very important concept that we studied in the chapter 16 that says that you cannot serve both God and mammon. What is really yours? What is your possession? That is the same idea here. What is my authority or my wealth? And the spirits remind us that no one can say that something belongs to them when that something can be taken from them without their consent, right? So if I say that this house that houses me right now, that I'm really thankful for, right? If I say this is my house, tomorrow, hopefully not, but a tornado can come through here and, it can take the house right off the ground. We could have, a flooding, or we could have a fire, right? If I say, we cannot even say this is my kid, it's God's children, right? They are not mine, they're not my possession. It's sometimes very sad, but sometimes even kids can discarnate before parents. So it's not even that we are going to outlive them. So, we cannot say that something is ours if it can be taken away without our consent. So the things like we talked in the previous chapter, they're really ours, right? The authority, for example, that we have, it's really our moral authority, right? Because that nobody can take that away from us, right? It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, in which country you live, if you are young or old, that moral authority is something that is yours. It's the same thing in terms of wealth. The good that I already have in myself, the charity that I do for others, the concerns I have for others, the desire and the efforts that I put in doing the good, and the love that I have for justice, all of those things are things that nobody can take away from me. So those are really mine, right? And this is, it's very easy to understand that, but we have to be careful because that is not the idea that we see every day in social media, in the news, in the things. So the world outside, I think it's very easy for us to understand that internally. But sometimes more and more, we spend more time with ourselves and really connecting to our spirit and taking care of our spirit, then really we spend listening to other people's opinions, right, their truths, and sometimes they do a really good job of kind of convincing us or trying to overcome the truth that we believe. So we can stop and think and we can say, oh yes, I agree with that, but we have to be careful not to lose sight of that, of reminding ourselves every day what is really ours, what is really my authority, and what is really my wealth. So in the message, they say that superior. So if you are over a group of people, and everybody's a little bit about a superior, right? Because even if I am the lowest rank of employee at my job, at my house, I might be the mother, right? So, or the father. So those are superiors in terms of the family. They make the decisions, they are in charge. So sometimes the superior or subordinate, it changes a little bit. Maybe I am the boss of a big company, but in my household, I'm the youngest daughter, right? So I might not be the superior, and maybe when I go volunteer, or in my church group or something, we have different positions. So superiors, these message remind us, are in charge of souls. So that should be a good reminder for us, right? That if we are over a group of people, over an activity that includes other people, over our families, then we are in charge of souls. They remind us too that we will answer for bad or good guidance that we give, because that is pretty much our main thing, is to be superior so we can give guidance. And they remind us that the results of the wrongs that the people under us do based on our bad guidance will fall upon us too. So I am also responsible for the things that people do under my bad advice, right? So if I'm supposed to be giving good guidance and I'm giving people bad guidance, I'm partially responsible for what they do, right? But they also remind us that the fruits of our kindness for leading others to good, we will receive those fruits of that kindness. And they remind us that everyone has a mission, either great or small, for the purpose of goodness. So our positions and our missions, whatever great or small that they may be, right? All of them have the purpose for goodness. So I am not a superior in a certain environment or in a certain circumstances so that I can do bad things to others. The purpose always is for goodness. I'm not a subordinate in other circumstances or environments for just for the purpose of being humiliated or just to suffer. No, the purpose is always for goodness, right? And they remind us of some of the questions that God will ask people with wealth and authority. So, what some of the questions that, remember when I started talking about that wealth and authority is a trust, is given by God, can be taken away anytime too, but there will be some accounting. So that is the accounting. And how is the accounting gonna be? So how do I know if I did a good job or a bad job? So these are some of the questions. What did you do with the wealth that in your hands should have been a source for spreading prosperity all around you, right? So you had some good resources. Did the people around you feel better or were better because you were there close to them and you had more, right? What did you do with that authority? So if you are a teacher, right? If you are a physician, anything that you do that you have authority, if you are clergy or if you have responsibility with your religious group or at work, what did you do with your authority? What evils did you prevent, right? So did you do some good? But did you also avoid, because you were in a place to make that decision, to protect others, right? To empower others, to bring others up. So, what evils did you prevent? Did you prevent others from going hungry or from ignorance, right? For not knowing something because you knew and then you share with them and you help them actually know more. What progress did you foster, right? That was a big, big theme in the previous chapter about wealth, that wealth is supposed to be supporting progress, knowledge, innovations, and things like that. So, in this message, it has a sentence that says, I made you strong and entrusted you with those who were weak in order for you to uphold them and to help them ascend to me, right? So if we are at a better position and somebody is a lower position or a less favorable position, it's so that we can help them and bring them up too. It's not for us to exploit them. It's not for us to feel better than them. That's not the purpose. Remember, the purpose of any position, it's related to our mission, and our mission, big or small, is always related to goodness, not to any suffering, not to any evil doing, right? And for the superiors, this message says that those who conform with the words of the Christ despise none of those who are beneath them, for they know that social orders distinctions means nothing for God, right? So the people who conform with the words of Christ. So if you are trying to be a Christian superior, if you're trying to be a Christian Spiritist superior, then you do not despise anybody that is beneath you in any level, educational, financial, uh, whatever, right? Even morally, because you know that any social order distinctions, they mean nothing for God. And they will be treated according to how they have treated their subalterns. So remember that, this is a two-faced coin. So at times, at some births, at some lives, at some incarnations, I'm the superior. Next time, I'm going to be the subordinate. And whatever I do, there is a consequence, right? So if I don't treat others well when I'm superior, then maybe next time I come as a subordinate, right? As so that I can see that, how I can feel it, how it feels, and how not nice it is when we are on the other shoes, right? When we are in the other position, on the other side of the coin. There are some things that subordinates to need um, to actually think too, and they also have to do. So both of them are about duties. And in this message, it says that the duties of people who are subordinate, they are not less sacred than the ones that are superiors, right? That they actually supervise others. So, and the people who are subordinates, they are not exempt of their duties, even if the superiors fail to fulfill theirs. So remember when we were talking about the other side of the coin, the superiors that will be partially responsible for bad things that come from their bad guidance. But that doesn't mean that when we are subordinate, we can say, oh, but my superior is telling me to do bad things. I already know better, but I'm saying, oh, because they told me to do, I'm just gonna do it. That's not right. That will not exempt my duties as a subordinate just because of that. And because we know as Christians and as a spiritists that one must not pay evil with evil, right? That is not the Christian way. We know that the wrongs of some do not authorize the wrongs of others. If they suffer, because sometimes this position of subordination, it's really a challenge, it's really a trial, right? It might be because we abuse our power and privilege in the past. Then now we are just seeing the other side, so we can have all the experiences and really know, right? It's just like if I want to punch something, if I punch myself, I can feel like the force that goes in, right? That goes out of my hand, but that also goes in, let's say, in my face. I can see both of that, but only if I'm in both sides of that receiving. But remember, it's not for suffering. Really, the purpose is for goodness. So as subordinates, even if the situation is difficult, because we know it can be really difficult, we're not trying to minimize that, we should resign ourselves, right? So we should not revolt, but we should try to change that situation, right? So the subordinates, they need to act as they would want their subordinates to act towards them if they were the boss. So if I'm a subordinate, how should I behave? I should behave in a way that if I was the boss, I would like my subordinates to behave this way. So that should be the way that I behave as a subordinate. So it reminds us here that spiritists are guided by the sentiment of duty that their faith gives them, along with the certainty that any detour from the straight and narrow will be a debt that will have to be paid sooner or later, right? So God is just, He's merciful, He's loving, but He is just, right? And we know as spiritists, we believe in this law of cause and consequence. So anything that we do incorrectly, we'll have to account for that and we'll have to correct that sooner or later, right? So guided by the sentiment of duty that our faith gives us, and with the certainty that any detour that we do, that anything that we do today have consequences, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 2 or 3 incarnations from now, right? All right, so that was section 9. Section 10 is actually the title of the talk, right? And it talks about the individual in the world. And again, it's gonna call us for a balanced attitude towards this dichotomy again, these two sides of our being, that we do have a material body, and this is at the last section too, but we also are spirits. And here that we are spirits and we have the spiritual life, but we are inserted in a material world. So how do we actually navigate that? That we are spirits, we should be looking for our betterment, that really whatever is ours is nothing material that we're going to take with us once we discarnate. But this time that we're here is still important, right? We were put in this situation, right? The incarnation, this birth, this opportunity is really important for us as spirits, right? So how do we behave then, right? As spirits, but in a material world. So for this, I actually put the message here that has few paragraphs, but it's really, really interesting. So it starts like this, and it's from a protector spirit. So it says a sentiment of compassion must always animate the hearts of those who gather under the Lord's sight to implore the assistance of good spirits, right? We are doing that all the time in whatever religious creed that we have, right? Maybe it's the good spirits, maybe it's the angels, maybe it's the saints, maybe, we probably put different names, but we are asking for that assistance. Then this protector spirit says, therefore, purify your heart. Do not let any mundane or futile thought linger in it. Ooh, that stuff, right? Not letting any mundane or futile thought linger in our hearts. Says, lift up your spirit to those you are calling, so that finding in you the proper dispositions, they may profusely sow the seed that should germinate in your soul and produce within it the fruit of charity and justice. So was we asking the help of the good spirits, right? Their assistance. We need to elevate ourselves, right? Try to purify our hearts to not have these mundane or futile thoughts. Really elevate ourselves so then we can reach more of their wisdom and we can really have their assistance in whatever, difficulty we are looking to overcome. He says, therefore, do not think that in incessantly exhorting you to prayer and mental evocation, we wish you to advise you to live in a mystic life that keeps you outside the laws of the society in which you have been condemned to live, right? Or invited, right? We are here kind of a little bit trapped in this society, right? In this situation that we're here, that is the best environment, the best situation, the best combination of circumstances that can be helpful for us, for each one of us individually. But this is important because the spirits are saying, we are asking you to elevate yourself. We are asking you to always be praying, right? But it's not so that you live a mystic life and that keep you outside the laws of society. And then they are more emphatic. They even say, no, what you should do is live with the men and women of your time in the way that men and women should live. Observe the social necessity, even the frivolities of the day, but do it with a sentiment of purity which may sanctify them. So the spirits are opening our eyes here to say that just because we live in a material world, that everything is mundane, right? That everything is superficial. No, we can actually make, observing our social necessities, even the little things that we would like but that maybe we do not actually really need, and that we encounter those things every day. It's okay to observe those things. but do it with a sentiment of purity so that we can sanctify that. The Spirit says you have been called to enter in contact with spirits of different natures and opposite characters. Isn't that the truth, right? If you think about now mentally, of all the people that you know, even within your family group, how different they are, right? How their characters are different, right? And opposite sometimes to yours, different natures and opposite characters. But they are saying here, do not clash with any of those with whom you might find yourself, right? So we should be living with these people. They're different from us, and they're saying here, so that we might find ourselves, right? Because believe it or not, I might not be exactly like some of that opposite character, but if I pick one characteristic of each person that is different from me, that might be the one that is in common with me, right? So it says, be cheerful and happy, but of the cheerfulness provided by a clear conscience and the happiness of the heirs of heaven, counting the days that will draw them nearer to their inheritance. So they are saying here, we don't need to be sad, right? Actually, the Christians should be happy. We are here studying the good news, the gospel. Means supposed to means good news, so we should be happy. But it's saying it's not the happiness that is superficial, that it's, but it's the happiness of somebody who knows that they will inherit heaven, and they are counting the days that they're gonna get their inheritance, because they know, they have a clear conscience that every day they are trying to be a better person. They are not there yet, but they are on their way, right? It says virtue does not consist in assuming a stern and gloomy face or in rejecting the pleasures that your human conditions allow, right? So, having a safe environment, I'm not talking about a mansion, but why not a nice house that can protect you from the elements, that can, give you enough space for you, your family, right? That can really comfortably, uh, shelter you, right? Um, so it's saying that we should not be sad, right? Why not be happy? Like, if I can eat 3 times a day, why not? Why I'm gonna go hungry, right? If I can exercise, or I can do some things that can help myself and my body, and in turn my spirit, why not, right? It's saying it is sufficient to report all the actions of your life to the Creator who has given such life. It's sufficient when one begins or finishes a deed to lift one's thought to that Creator and to ask Him, in an impulse of the soul, to grant His watch care for carrying it out, and to grant His blessing for finishing it. In all that you do, this message is saying, look to the source of all things, right? Do not do anything without the thought of God purifying and sanctifying your acts, right? And that is the key. Sometimes we can be doing things that are very simple, that are very innocent, but we might be thinking bad thoughts. And sometimes there are people that might be in places, right, that might not be very pure, but they are pure themselves, right? So if we are Christians, are we not gonna go and help people if they live in areas that is very dirty physically, like the environment, they live in the streets or something like it? We are going, because we have the purity of our thoughts. We are not gonna go to places if we need to help somebody, because maybe it's a site of prostitution or something, you know, like our the medium Chico Xavier, right? He would pray with the prostitutes too. Why not? Right? It depends really where you are and what you're doing. So people sometimes think because you're Christian you cannot dance. That's how they see it. We cannot dance. And but if I'm dancing and I'm giving God praise because I have a body, I'm alive, I can move, you know, I feel alive. I can feel the blood rushing through my veins, and, you know, I can see that benefit of that cardio and everything. How can that be really impure? So, what he's saying here, as long as we have the intention and we bring God into the things that we do, then we can actually sanctify our acts. He said, as Christ said, perfection is found entirely in the practice of absolute charity, but the duties of charity, they extend to all social positions from the lowest to the highest. Those who live in isolation will have no charity to practice, right? I can actually live in peace without conflict if I live just by myself. Who is going to tell me something opposite? If I want to eat something, there's nobody there that says, that can suggest something else or that is going to make any comments. If I want to go to sleep whatever time, if I want to watch whatever I do, there's nobody there to give a different opinion. Don't need to compromise with anybody. I don't need to negotiate, right? It's whatever I want and me alone, myself and I, right? So that's what he's saying. It that those who live in isolation, they would have no charity to practice. I cannot help anybody because maybe, you know, like I can help myself, but I cannot help anybody else, right? It's only through contact with their fellow beings in the most arduous struggles that we find an opportunity to practice charity. And that is important. And I think that is key because I think, I don't know about you, but sometimes I can struggle with some of those things. You know, like if you're going outside of your house at work or any other place that you go to the supermarket or something, and you see people that are not happy, or you see some violence, or you see things that maybe you don't agree with it, and you might feel like, oh, I better just withdraw, right? I better just isolate myself. But that's not, we are social beings, right? That's not how God created us. He created us to live with each other, right? To really remember, the other part of the message is so that we can living and really spending time and experiences with these other people of different characters, and they're different from us, is that we might find ourselves, right? Isn't it these interactions? Um so they say, does those who isolate themselves intentionally, they deprive themselves of the most powerful means of perfection, since they have only themselves to think of. Their lives are those of a selfish person, right? It's really hard to fight with yourself, right? It's so easy to fight with somebody else. To have a different opinion from yourself, it's almost impossible, right? So that's why we need to live with others. So that's why we need that charity. But we need, remember, the biggest commandment is to love God above all and to love others as we love ourselves. So to love ourselves so that we can understand others too, and we can love them, and we can learn together, right? In this path. But isolation, it's not the right thing. It's not good for our mental health, right? It's not good for our spiritual health either. It's not good even for our physical health, right? There are studies about that. So even if we think it might be okay, sometimes it's okay to take a break, right? To just kind of come inside yourself, or to separate yourself a little bit, get that energy back. But the isolation, it's not the solution, right? It's not healthy. So it says, do not imagine, therefore, that in order to live in constant communication with us, with the high spirits, we have to, or to live in the Lord's sight, you must put on a calices and cover yourselves with ashes. No, no. And once more, no. Be happy in accordance with the needs of humankind. But may your happiness never hold a thought or commit an action that might offend God, or anything that might cloud the face of those who love and guide you. God is love, and He blesses all those who love virtuously, right? So, whatever we're doing, if we're doing it with love, if that is our intention, if we're connecting with God to really try to sanctify what we're doing, even if it's a very simple earthly action like eating, like, working or washing our clothes or anything, those, or having a birthday celebration, right? Listening to some music, dancing, all of those things are okay as long as we purify our heart, right? And that we are not doing anything, right? Anything that might offend God, that might be prejudicial to anybody. So you always know that I talk a lot, and so I'm running out of time, but I'm just gonna summarize this part about caring for the body and the spirit. This is another dichotomy. So sometimes we think, oh, to be a better person, I need to torture myself, or to do, to withdraw from a lot of things. So I cannot, have, like, I'm just gonna, not because it's like a healthy thing or because it is for some other reasons, but I'm just gonna kind of punish myself for my body, and maybe I will not eat a lot, or I will hit myself, my body. But that is not really where, um, the key is, thinking that of the body like as the horse, and the spirit as the horse rider. So the horse is our body, it's just the instrument for the soul, right? But sometimes an accident, it's not just the problem of the horse, but it's actually the problem of the way that the horse was led, or the lack of talent in that area that led to the um, to the accident, right? So we should not confuse. And so it's not, we cannot beat the horse and just let the um, the horse rider, right, off the hook. If we really want to get to the core of things, then we need to change our soul, because that is where the core is. So in this message, they say, love your soul, but care also for your body. That is your soul instrument, right? So we are giving this body, this physical body, so we should take care of it. We should sleep enough, we should, obey whatever our doctors are saying. So if we need to not eat a lot of some kinds of food, like sugar or fat or something, we should exercise, we should, do our hygiene, we should do everything that is possible, so that this instrument, that is our soul instrument, is how our soul is expressing itself in this time, in this earth. We need to take care of that body, right? So with this, I would finish here and ask you guys, sorry, because, it took, a long time, but this is a very beautiful message in this um, chapter, and I really recommend you all read, the whole chapter if you have not, or the items 9 through 11. Thank you so much.
Hey, my friend. Thank you so
Hello.
much for your presentation, your reflection. As you said, this message is very beautiful and very important for us, right? It's a reminder that we are in the material world, although we need to seek for the spiritual world, right? Which is
Right.
our like real life. It's gonna be in the spiritual world, right? But we are here, so we need to take care of uh, what God gave to us, right?
Right, right. Is that sometimes we go too much in one extreme or the other, right? So it's all
Mm-hmm.
about balance.
Yeah.
Sometimes in trying to do good, we can kind of go in the other extreme, but the
Mm-hmm.
health and the mystery and the secret is really being in the middle, right? It's a balance of everything,
Mm-hmm.
not totally material, but not trying to just think that our body and the society that we live also do not have
Mm-hmm.
things that we can enjoy, that we also can be part of our life in an
Mm-hmm.
honorable way, right? We can
Yeah,
still
it's
enjoy
true. Yeah,
those.
as I said, we just need to have balance in everything, right? Not too much of anything, right?
Right, right.
Even water, if you drink it too much water, it's not gonna be good for your body, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Thank you so much,
No
everybody.
problem. No problem. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye. Okay. So thank you for everyone for the participation in the chat. And now we will move to the preparation for the tonight spiritual care. Pass is the transfusion of is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Pass help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with health and positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside, we will also observe the spiritual energy that you and your family can benefit from. We will now make our prayer, our final prayer, and this prayer is going to be for the preparation of the spiritual care and our closing prayer as well. Okay, so let's close our eyes if you will feel comfortable, and let's thank God for this beautiful talk that we just had. For all the reminders that our sister Anna brought to us, for everything that we need to do, because we need to do our part, right? We are here, we are surrounded by the good spirits, and we need to do our part to try to get the inspiration from them. Thank God for everything you have done in our lives, for our home, our job, for our family, and everything, for the food that you put on our table every day, God, for the peace, for the love, for your mercy that we receive every single day in our lives. May all the people whose names are on the vibration list be benefit from all the good energy that the spirits who are helping us during this night. And may all of us, incarnate or discarnate, can have like a good week. May we can have everything we need, and we will be assisted by Jesus, the good spirits, and all the in our every day in our lives. And please God to stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capharnaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Now we have a very special invitation. We invite everyone to the second conference, United States and Canada, which will take place from September 5th to September 7th in Fitchburg, in Massachusetts. I have a hard time saying this name, USA. So the theme of the conference will be kindness is the only way. And to register, simply access the link on the screen. And see you all there. And thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and next Saturday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. And don't forget to follow Spiritism Canada on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and the Spiritist group Path of Light on Facebook as well. Have a good night and see you next week. Bye.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. Here with all our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. And this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.